Hello and welcome to the best game you never played. I am aJadedGamer and today I will be showcasing the Avernum Trilogy, created by Spiderweb Software and derivative of a previous game of theirs called Exile. These games tell the story of a fantasy world called Avernum, a gigantic subterranean world where you have been banished by the Empire on the surface. The first game telling the story of four adventurers hell-bent on getting revenge and escaping the pit known as Avernum. This game offers 3 alternate endings, as well as one final ending if you complete all 3, which is quite unique for the time and, quite frankly, still is. The second game focuses on the Empire coming to Avernum, realizing that they have sent powerful people down there who may uprise against them one day. And the final game focusing on the Avernite people reaching the surface only to discover it is in decay, the Empire ruined, the world falling apart. Will you try and help these people, or leave them to the squalor they've created for themselves, while the Avernite thrive under the surface? The games look and play similar to the early Ultima, only without the convoluted bullshit and undocumented key bindings. At the start of each game you create 4 characters that will serve as your adventurers. More can be created throughout the game, and some can even be recruited. But the maximum party size is 4. There is 4 basic archetypes: fighter, ranger, mage, priest. Mages deal damage, priests prevent it, rangers range it, and fighters deal it. Nothing terribly exceptional, but it can all be mixed together and you can create some pretty powerful characters out of it. Each character can also have 2 traits, for better or worse, which is interesting. Taking a positive trait lowers your bonus experience, taking a negative raises it. It's a bit of a yin-yang thing if you wish it. Later games in the trilogy introduce additional character races, 2 of the native species to Avernum. One of the things I found initially off-putting about this game was the amount of text involved in it. But after I adjusted to it and just started reading it, I ended up becoming very engrossed within it. I recently watched a video about the creator at the GDC, I think it was, and he outlined that there's somewhere between 1 and 2 full novels worth of text in just the first game, similar amount in the second, and in the third it rivals the Silmarillion if read back to front and then upside down. You certainly get your money's worth in this game. I may have paraphrased that slightly, but there is a lot of text in these games. The game has 2 main screens to it, the in-town/in-dungeon screen and the overworld map. Both include exploration and looting. On the overworld map, you can visit different towns, encounter random monsters, progress the story, find quests or special situations on your own. It's all very open. In fact, in the first and third game, it is quite possible to sequence break your way into some very powerful equipment very quickly. Some may think it's a bit broken, others think it's part of the world. While in a town or dungeon, your characters move in a line formation, the first character being point. There are many things that can be done in town, such as purchasing equipment, talking to NPCs, buying spells, learning about the world, and the classic RPG staple of stealing everything that isn't nailed down, quite literally. This goes to the extent of pushing shop NPCs outside of their shop, closing the door and nicking everything within it. Oh, what's that? This NPC doesn't move? Okay, I'll just push the crates out of the storeroom, around the corner into the alley, and then steal everything. But whatever you do, don't get spotted, otherwise the guards will fuck you up. They're more powerful than the endgame opponents. Just as an example of how large these games are, the footage playing right now is of the overworld in the third game. When you emerge from Avernum to the surface, you're somewhere roughly in the southwest of the continent. By the end of the video clip, I'm in the far, far northeast. There's an absolutely massive overworld, and all I did was skim the edges of it. Absolutely massive amount in the centre as well. And all of the little towns and whatnots that I pass are all enterable. They all have their own separate maps and NPCs and quests and characters within them. It's quite a feat what has been created here. Thinking about it, it really puts a lot of modern games to shame with their lack of content. The first game runs for roughly 40 to 60 hours. The second is about the same, but the third one has an estimated playtime of about 100. The last game I got 100 hours out of was a city builder, and I just sat there looking at the screen most of the time, not really doing anything. Really puts things into perspective. You think about how games used to be made and the effort put into them. As mentioned earlier, this game is derivative of another called Exile that was created by Spiderweb Software. What the creator does is he doesn't forget about his past projects. He remasters and remakes them entirely, which I think is quite commendable. I mean, how many game series have there been that have just died, never to be heard from again? Just a couple that come to mind. Draken, Oni, Nox, made a video about that one. Plug. I mean, those games are never going to be remade. I'm surprised they're even sold. Well, only one of those three I mentioned is. I'd love to play Oni or Draken. I only ever got to see the demos of them. But apparently the world we live in is one that forgets. Anyway, Hitler started rambling, so best to finish this up. If you're interested in a game that is actually story-rich, and not just one of those garbage, what are they called, visual diaries, then this game will absolutely suffice. It is a story, epic in scope, spans over 3 games, as not to mention the second trilogy, 4 through 6 in this series, that I've apparently neglected to this point. And if you're put off by the sort of outdated graphics and old school Windows design, there is a more recent remake of this again. As I mentioned, the creator likes to do that, which is fantastic. There are more quests, more stories, more things to do. You certainly won't be wasting your money on this product. I'm aJadedGamer. Thank you for watching.